top tips for candidates in 2020, and today we are on our fifth tip. But before I dive on to our fifth tip, I always start by asking you who is watching this question, what has changed since we got into COVID-19 pandemic? To be honest, a lot of things have changed. And before we got into COVID-19 pandemic, Kenya as a nation had a debt of over 6 billion Kenya shillings. Youth unemployment was on the rise. Locusts were attacking our crops. The cost of living was already high. As I speak to you now, we even have floods. As I speak to you now, the government is borrowing from IMF, World Bank, and other organizations to help cushion Kenyans from the effects of this COVID-19 pandemic. As I speak to you now, there is loads of food distribution and loads of donations going around the country to help cushion Kenyans. My question to you is, who will pay for all this, and how will life look like after COVID-19 pandemic? Something to think about, and do feel free to share with us what has changed for you since we got into COVID-19 pandemic. On to our fifth tip, which I always start by saying my story and relating it to our tip for the day. I was born and raised in a little village somewhere in Siaya, where we could wake up at 4 a.m. Monday to Friday, go to the garden till 6 a.m., come back home, prepare ourselves, and go to school by 7 a.m. And this was my routine from Monday to Friday, thanks to my mom for instilling the spirit of hard work and never giving up when I was still a young boy. Thanks to you, Mom. It is during this time that I realized that it was only on a Saturday and Sunday that I had time to play football with my boys in the village. And when this comes to my mind, I always feel like crying. It was this day that my mom asked me to wash plates and even go out and slash the shamba for the work the next day. I refused, and I went to the field to play with my boys. And remember, this is a village field where cows graze. As I was playing my football, there was a cow dung in the field. Remember, I'm a striker, 11, left wing. So in the middle of chasing a ball, I slipped on a cow dung, and this arm got twisted. And there I lied, hopeless, not sure what to do. Fellow teammates rushed home, called my mom, who came with my grandmother to see me where I was lying. And when my mom saw me, the first thing she said was, "Omondi, I told you to do some work for me, but you refused. You insisted that you wanted to play this your football. Now look what has happened." My mom and my grandmother took me to hospital. And from then, I was in Form 3 then. I took a break. You probably said, well, I won't play football again. But once you find that passion and the urge of doing something, whether arm breaks, whether leg breaks, you will always find a reason to go back. And it is during this football time that I realized that after my game and I go back to my books, I could read and grasp very tough concepts. So I knew clearly it helped me basically define when my brain was active and when I needed to do other things. So basically I knew when to play football, when to read, and when to catch up with my mom's tasks. Now on to our tip. As a candidate who is looking to do either KCPE or KCSE in Kenya, learn to manage your time. Do not overread a subject at an expense of another subject. And know when to read tough concepts and simple concepts. I'll give an example. When you wake up in the morning, take a biology essay and read that. Do not struggle with mathematics that you can't understand that early morning. So as a candidate, learn to manage your time well. I know we are in tough times, so keep staying at home, keep revising, and when those exams come, I know you will give your best and excel. Peace.